Yeah, you haven't called for a week.
Yeah, I want to discuss something. I think we should break up.
Oh. At 22, I got dramatically dumped over phone after moving countries for the love of my life. Twice. This call found me alone in Istanbul, getting a COVID vaccine to follow him to another country I didn't want to be in. After crying my heart out and feeling like half of my body was chopped off, I realized, who needs a man when you have LinkedIn? Against any logical argument, I don't have enough experience, savings, I don't know anybody else there. I blindly started applying for jobs in London. Hundreds of applications, dozens of interviews. I landed a job, packed my life into suitcases, and moved alone to a city I knew only from English textbooks.
Lesson 5. London Attractions, St. Paul's Cathedral.
That was 4 years ago. London changed me so much that I barely recognize this girl. But honestly, I'm so proud this pulled it off. While female beauty standards are still enraging around the globe, it's much more liberating to be a woman in London. You see, Slavic beauty industrial complex includes, but is not limited to, perfect lashes, eyebrows, snatched face, glowy skin without any wrinkles or acne, full lips, makeup, fresh and useful, because you're a lady, not a clown. Perfectly styled hair with ideal platinum blonde. No hair anywhere else, obviously, fresh manicure and pedicure, and all of this in high heels, just to get your trash out. And if you don't follow these pricey and time-consuming procedures, well, now you're a dirty peasant who doesn't take basic care of herself. And honestly, it would make any sense if men around were Mr. Darcy's, but don't even get me started. And against the common gopnik image you probably have in your head, I would never ever wear my Adidas trousers back home. My neighbor Babushka Luda, and I know that you say babushka, and it's wrong, it's babushka, okay? Babushka. So my neighbor in Babushka Luda will give me the look. Oh, Lisa, my darling, what are you wearing? You look like a homeless person. But I vividly remember finally getting them in London, unbuttoning the bottom for the flare. I dreamed about them like for many years. I don't have a reason to wear them, but now I don't care anymore. I felt so cool, like these TV show dancers who inspired me to get these trousers in the first place. And big surprise, when I left my home, not a soul cared. Nobody even paused on me for a millisecond longer. So it was confidence and fun, for free, with no judgment attached. And the same goes to makeup. Yes, I do paint my nails and do my eye makeup, but because it's fun to play with colors and textures, not to look perfectly useful for some random Ivan on a bus stop. Ooh, music break. Before we move to the culture. Well, to be honest, I was always paintings, drawings, visual arts, photography, culture, museums, arts, cinema girl. But London truly enabled me with its rich cultural life. There are so many world-class museums. Each of them changes exhibitions every 6 months. And most of them are free. For our favorites, we do pay for membership to visit all the temporary exhibitions, but honestly, with the amount of guests, it just pays for itself. Also, the theaters and live concert scene is just unmatched. It still blows my mind that the best actors and creatives that we know from many TV shows and movies come to London just to work, and they would love it on their CV as well. I remember my first famous actress moment in National Theatre. I just couldn't peel my eyes off Dame Harriet Walter. I couldn't believe that this iconic actress is there on stage, like 10 meters away from me. I shouldn't, but I could reach her in theory. And you know, it's just a casual Tuesday evening in London, and I paid some ridiculous £10 to be in the front row seats. My other giant favorite is seeing movie premieres, festivals, Q&As and intros with cast and crew live in the same cinema room.
Has done a 7-part series for Apple.
Directing impartially is making sure that all the elements are telling the same story.
Our cinematographer exposed it in a very unique fashion, technique.
For example, I once saw Yorgos Lanthimos, director of Poor Things, giving a talk about his career. And somewhere 40 minutes in, he started saying, Emma, Emma, like referencing somebody in the audience. And then we realized that there was Emma Stone sitting there all this time together with us, sharing the room with Emma Stone. And I had a few situations like this with theater when I saw Kate Blanchett performing with Ralph Fiennes in the room. Ralph Fiennes. Or just last week saw Sadie Sink performing Juliet while sitting one row away from Elizabeth Debicki, my favorite Princess Diana from The Crown. I grew up in a very seasonal place. In the summer, I ate fresh strawberries and cucumbers from my grandma's garden, ran after the butterflies, and climbed the trees with my friends. In the winter, I returned home after sliding in the snow for hours and hours, wrapped up in a thick puffer, woolen tights, mittens, and scarves. So I think it was my second year in London, was it, when the charm of warm winters started to fade. This mild climate smashes all 12 months into two flat seasons. In summer, London is insanely beautiful and just the best place to be. People run to pubs and parks, throw barbecues, have their friends around. But the pure, depressive black hole of 6 months between October and March, with what it feels like 3 hours of daylight, sucks all the life and desire to leave your house. And there is no crisp and frosty winter to break up this grayness. No snow, no winter activities, no seasonal food or clothes. I mean, some people wear the same shorts in January and in July. Even the famous London Christmas lights last here till December 26th, and then hello darkness, my old friend. So, besides obviously escaping to Canary Islands, the only way to psychologically survive this flat dullness is to embrace it and try discerning the shades of grey. I think it was the first time I took my camera out on a rainy day. It clicked. I either try to find some beauty now or stay at home for 6 months, waiting for the first ray of sun to shine. This is precisely why my camera roll is just full of nature. I love to notice how trees slowly start to blossom one by one, which one opens the flowers first and shakes off the leaves last. What perfect rain density and sun angle result in a rainbow. On which spring weekends can you see baby coots and hear foxes scream at night? This life of noticing is not always easy, but the effort counts. As with seasons, my Belarusian identity became even stronger as I moved further. I voluntarily took a full-time job of being the first Belarusian people meet. And somebody has to, because our country has the weakest marketing department ever. My most common task is to explain that, yes, this country exists as its own unit. No. We are not part of Russia or USSR anymore. And yes, we are located in the mainland Europe. Hello! Hi, After the basic level awareness achieved, I work hard on shifting focus from questionable political decisions to actually significant pieces of culture, art. You see, our lands were always a soup of Slavic, Jewish, Polish, Lithuanian people. So, Belarus as a nation doesn't have enough recognition in the present-day culture. Even in the richest London food scene, there is still no Belarusian restaurant. And honestly, it gets annoying sometimes. Like, come on! We're the size of Switzerland. Sadly though, Belarus is not hugged by mountains from all the sides to prevent colonization and full reset of culture every century. But if not us, then who? So I will make sure to remind you of Belarus every time I see a small piece of puzzle from my childhood. A birch, a lilac bush, a local East European shop with the proper kvass, insanely good Ukrainian food delivery with the best borscht in town. Even though I still hold an insanely weak passport and need a visa to travel to any country in the world except Cuba, I finally get to visit places from my Pinterest board I created when I was 14. Life in London opens the door to good salaries, a great exchange rate, cheap direct flights, and my favorite 2-hour train to Paris. In comparison, only 5 to 7% of Belarusians travel each year at best. And it's not because we're so close-minded, no. We just have an insanely expensive flight tickets that don't bring you anywhere. Like a typical return flight to Istanbul is over a half of a median salary, and any European or American destination is just closed for us since 2020. Add a few $100s just to apply for a visa, with a very complex application process, rejections, and no refund, obviously. So, I feel extremely lucky and privileged to be able to travel over 10 times a year abroad. Because I took my first flight when I was 20. Airports are still this magical teleportation portal, and I never miss a chance to take a window seat in the plane. Because come on, they show skies there! I feel like people underrate planes. Besides learning about new cultures firsthand, traveling also gives me a chance to understand myself better, to see how I react and behave in a new environment. For example, I thought of myself as a very loud and expressive person until a night out in a Spanish tapas bar proved me wrong. Turned out I'm just a small baby deer who needs perfect silence and organization of a Stockholm bus or a Tokyo train.
Take your mobile phone to silent mode and refrain from talking on the phone.
I'm just not equipped enough to handle the passion, the volume, the expression, the speed of a Spanish discussion about their stupid ex, Alejandro. Also, nothing gives me the sense of freedom and independence as much as solo traveling. Truly, I can handle any situation if I can explain myself to a Turkish grandpa is somewhere in a distant village with no shared language.
Station is Westminster.
In Minsk and Moscow, the ultimate goal was to live as close to the city center as you can afford. These golden square meters attract the best shops, cafes, services, entertainment, beautiful architecture, and lively buzz as a result. The rest of the city is called Sleep Zone, where people literally just go back home to sleep. In contrast, I live my comfortable and self-sustained life in a London neighborhood. I have all my favorite markets and bakeries around the corner. I enjoy myself in local parks and cute streets with Victorian architecture. I do my best to support local businesses, publishers, books, and gift stores. And traveling to West London is a choice I make only the best of the best, like Royal Albert Hall, National Theatre, the Wallace Collection. But even my favorite V&A recently opened 2 more museums in the East. And yes, While there is no worse place to find myself on a weekend than Oxford Street, I still love to be reminded that I made it to London. Small Liz gasps in me every time I see Big Ben and the London Eye duo, the night lights of St. Paul's, or when my bus turns to Regent Street through Piccadilly.
How are you? I'm good. You? Good. You?
Of course, after speaking English every day in every area of my life for 4 years, my English improved dramatically, while I keep forgetting Russian words more and more. But the main change is not how I talk, is what I talk about. Yes, the infamous small talk that brings up the existential dread. Because back home, if somebody asks, "How are you?" they genuinely care about you, and they are ready for all your work problems, family trauma dumping, your medical record in graphic details, gossip about every human being or animal you know. I'm sure this level of openness could bring a few Brits to coma. So I like this great metaphor about different cultures that was defined by these researchers and popularized in this book. There are coconut and peach cultures. And Slavic people are obviously coconuts. Yes, we seem cold and unapproachable. We won't greet you with a smile. And you do need to crack the shell first. But once you're in, you're in. You will get the most caring friend and empathetic listener who will be brutally sincere with you. And peach cultures like the US and Spain are friendly and cheerful, but only if you discuss their dog or the latest hike. Any personal information is hidden deep inside for the privileged few. And it's completely fine. I live in the most multinational city, and I can't rewire different cultures, so I just suck it up. Party after party, I go through this humiliation ritual of, in my opinion, meaningless conversation. If I'm lucky enough and stay as the last person at the party, we might finally get to the sincere, juicy conversations, which are the reason to connect in the first place. You know, while checking the Belarusian salaries, I was completely not surprised to find the arts and entertainment sector among the lowest paid. The Belarusian economy really started my lifelong dilemma: a paid job or a creative job. And while my tech product manager career is an amazing fit for my skills, desires, and personality type, I'm 100% aware I chose this career path as almost the only well-paid job with easy immigration opportunities. And yes, it is similar to anywhere in the world. Consulting, corporate law, finance pays better everywhere. But while a creative career is more challenging in London, it's just impossible in Belarus. Like, come on, there is no Netflix or A24 production in Minsk. As a theater actress, you make like £200 a month, which is absolutely not sustainable without a sponsor. And if I could rewind time, I would play my cards the same way. My corporate career pays for my rent in London, spontaneous trips to New York, my cameras, oysters in a Parisian restaurant, and most importantly, it gives me a legal right to live in the UK. But after all, you do watch me on YouTube now, so I guess I'm letting some creative opportunities seep in. Okay, I feel like this section finally needs a disclaimer. I truly believe there is no right or wrong way to live one's life. It's whatever works best for you now. And you can also change your opinion. It's great to evolve. Back home, many people of my age are married, someone is divorced, people have kids or two. In London, people finish their education at the same age. At 27, you're still considered very young. Many people just start making their adult money, so it's a prime time to travel, date, explore. I feel like life in the post-Soviet countries makes you mature earlier. I still find myself being the youngest in the room. 27, I somehow have 7 years of corporate experience, which is shocking to me too. And at time, this way of living may feel annoyingly infantile. So many of my Slavic girlfriends are in horror trying to find a mature enough man to date. They're just not ripe yet, no. But it feels so good to have a few extra decades of being fun and alive without a society's ticking bomb on you. For better or worse, Londoners are just so focused on themselves, how they're gonna pay their rent, insane 50% income tax, that they just don't give a flying about you. For better, it's liberating. If there is no template, no square to fill, and no judgment, you can be whoever you want to be. Truly, nobody cares. For worse, the price of this freedom. There is no village waiting for you when you arrive here. It may feel lonely in this giant city, and you do need to make intentional effort to find meaningful connections here. But I know that my life in London is a love affair. My grave won't be standing on this land. It really does change your perspective when you think there are only 5, 7, 10 summers in this city. So, in the meantime, London takes me on the best dates ever. We go to the world's best museums, parks, fancy restaurants. Turned out relying on English grammar books was a great bet. And there is no place I'd rather be in my 20s and 30s. Love you, London! Woo! Let me know in the comments if you've been to London, if you live in London. How has this city changed you? Don't forget to give this video a like, it really helps with my creative career. Subscribe, ring the bell, and I see you next time. Bye! Bye, helicopter. See you in New York.